Yeah, looks like we're live. All right, this is the Bible reading for January 15th. And since I am behind because I've been sick, actually, I still am. And I'm just going to do the readings. I still want to do the light Bible study on the gospel because I think for gospels we shouldn't just rush through them. So it's going to be for the 15th, it's going to be Genesis 36 through 38 and Matthew 10, verses 21 through 42 for January 15th reading. And Father, as we go through this reading, I ask that you bless us with the hearing and the reading of your word. I ask that you increase our knowledge and wisdom of your word. I ask you speak to us through your word, Lord. Give us the discernment and understanding that we need so that we can be the light in the world, Lord, the light on the hill, and the salt and light to share the gospel with those that need to hear it. I pray you put them in our path, Lord, and give us the words to speak. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I'm sorry if I sound a little down. I am so sad right now. But I'll try not to be a bummer. So, we're starting to read about the family of Esau. And then we're going to get into Joseph, which is like one of my favorite stories. The family of Esau. Now, this is the genealogy of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan: Adah, the daughter of Elon the Hittite; Aholibah, 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 I'm sorry, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite; and Basemeth, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. God, what is wrong with me? Now, Ada bore Eliphaz to Esau, and I used to know how to pronounce these. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm sick. That person bore Ruel. And Aholibama bore Jewish, I don't know how you say that, Jaelam and Korah. I thought I looked up these words. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Then Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the persons of his household, his cattle, and all his animals, and all his goods, which he had gained in the land of Canaan, and went to a country away from the presence of his brother Jacob, for their possessions were too great for them to dwell together, and the land where they were strangers could not support them because of their livestock. So Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Now, you remember we were reading not too long ago of a land, the Edomites, that would not allow Israel to pass. Remember that? That's why there are no Edomites to this day. I'm going to bless those who bless you, curse those who curse you. Anyways, verse 9. And this is the genealogy of Esau, the father of the Edomites in Mount Seir. These were the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; and Ruel, the son of Basemeth, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was the concubine of Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore Amalek to Eliphaz. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. These were the sons of Ruel: Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the sons of Basemeth, Esau's wife. Basemath. Basemath? I can't remember. Basemath. These were the sons of Aholibama, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, and she bore to Esau Jush, uh, Jaalam, and Korah, the chiefs of Edom. Oh, oh, come on. These were the chiefs of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, were Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zepho, Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, and Chief Amalek. These were the chiefs of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. They were the sons of Adah. These were the sons of Ruel, Esau's son: Chief Nahath, Chief Zerah, Chief Shema, and Chief Mizah. These were the chiefs of Ruel in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife, chief Jewish, chief Jaalam, and chief Korah. These were the chiefs who descended from Aholibamah, Esau's wife, the daughter of Anah. These were the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these were their chiefs. The sons of Seir. These were the sons of Seir the Horite who inhabited the land: Lodan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. And the sons of Lodam were Hori and Heman. Lodam's sister was Timnah. These were the sons of Shobal: Alvin, Menahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. These were the sons of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. This was the Anah who found the water in the wilderness as he pastured the donkeys of his father Zibeon. These were the children of Anah, Dishon and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah. These were the sons of Dishon: Himdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Shiran. My throat's too dry to be able to do the ha. These were the sons of Ezer: Bilhan, Zavan, not sure, and Achan. These were the sons of Dishon: Uz and Aran. Sorry, I think. These were the chiefs of the Horites: Chief Lodan, Chief Shobal, Chief Zibeon, Chief Anah, Chief Dishon, Chief Ezer, and Chief Dishan. These were the chiefs of the Horites according to their chiefs in the land of Seir. And the reason why I don't feel too terribly horrible that I can't pronounce some of these names is because I know some pastors been doing this for decades and they can't pronounce them. What? And they've taken theology training. Just saying. So I don't feel so bad. The kings of Edom. Now these now these were the kings who reigned in the land of Edom before any king reigned over the children of Israel. Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. Din, Dinhabah, yeah. And when Bela died, Jobab, the son of Zerah of Basra, reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham of the land of the Timonites reigned in his place. And when Husham died, Hadad, the son of Bedad, who attacked Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his place. And the name of his city was Avith. And when Hadad died, Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his place. And when Samlah died, Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his place. When Saul died, Baal Hanan the son of Achbor reigned in his place. And when Baal Hanan the son of Achbor died, Hadar reigned in his place, and the name of his city was Pa. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Paul. Paul. I'll just say without the L. Paul. Yes. His wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. I said, think I sprung my tongue. The chiefs of Esau. And these are the names of the chiefs of Esau, according to their families and their places, by their names: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jetheth, I don't know, Chief Aholibamah. I know I'm saying that wrong. That one I have to look up because I know I'm just tearing it up. And I know they're probably up there going, she just tore your name. Oh, it's 12:12. They're probably elbowing each other, going, she just tore your name from the floor up. Yeah. Mm. Let's see, what was it? Oh, a holib Aholibamah. Pronunciation. I may be sick, but I can still sing. Couldn't last night. I could hardly talk yesterday. Just saying. Satan is such a liar. Whatever. 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 A holy mama. Oh, well, I'll be darned. Hey, I was saying it right. Woo, 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 woo. My Hebrew study is paying off. Yeah. Yay. Anyways, Chief Elah, Chief Pinon, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mibzar, Chief Magdiel, and Chief Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom, according to their dwelling places in the land of their possession. Esau was the father of the Edomites. Okay, Genesis 37. Joseph's dreams of greatness. Now Jacob dwelt in the land where his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. This is the history of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought a bad report of them to his father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age. Also he made him a tunic of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him even more. So he said to them, "Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. There we were, binding sheaves in the field. Then behold, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And indeed your sheaves stood all around, and bowed down to my sheaf. And his brothers said to him, Shall you indeed reign over us, or shall you indeed have dominion over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Sounds like little Joseph was a little kind of arrogant, little turd back then too, because he knew his father thought more of him. So see, no one's perfect. See, even here, you know, Jacob was kind of not right for showing partiality to Joseph, even if it, because well, he showed partiality with Rachel because he loved her, you know, and then now he's shown partiality to his children. Now, granted, she died giving birth to Benjamin, but still, but still. Uh, then he dreamed still another dream and told it to his brothers and said, Look, I have dreamed another dream. And this time the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars bowed down to me. So he told it to his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you? And his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Are you listening to me read, Miss Bella? Where's your squishy, Mommy? You miss here's your squishy. There you go. You can have your squishy while I'm reading. Anyway. Uh, uh, So your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you, and his brothers envied him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Okay, and then Joseph sold by his brothers. Excuse me. Verse 12. Then his brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, Are not your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. So he said to them, Here I am. Then he said to him, Please go and see if it is well with your brothers and well with the flocks, and bring back word to me. So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he went to Shechem. Now a certain man found him, and there he was, wandering in the field. The man asked him, saying, What are you seeking? So he said, I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they are feeding their flocks. And the man said, They have departed from here, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now when they saw him afar off, even before he came near them, they conspired against him to kill him. Then they said to one another, Look, this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, let us now kill him and cast him into some pit, and we shall say, Some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams. But Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said to them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hands and bring him back to his father. So it came to pass when Joseph had come to his brothers that they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. Then they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, on their way to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, what profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brothers listened. Then Midianite traders passed by, so the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they took Joseph to Egypt. Then Reuben returned to the pit, and indeed Joseph was not in the pit. And he tore his clothes, and he returned to his brothers and said, the lad is no more, and I, where shall I go? So they took Joseph's tunic, killed the kid of the goats, and dipped the tunic in the blood. Then they sent the tunic of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, we have found this. Do you know whether it is your son's tunic or not? And he recognized it and said, it is my son's tunic. A wild beast has devoured him. Without doubt, Joseph is torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put sackcloth on his waist, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters arose to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted, and he said, for I shall go down into the grave to my son in mourning. Thus his father wept for him. Now the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh and captain of the guard. Genesis 38. Oh, man. Oh, man, this hurts. I think I have an ear infection. Oh, gosh. Ooh, it's all swollen there. Oh, that's disgusting. You know how, like, when you go see the doctor, he feels on either side of your neck, like right below your ears? That left side, man, it's just all puffed up. It really hurts. Genesis 38. Judah and Tamar. It came to pass at that time that Judah departed from his brothers. I may have to go see Dr. Yang tomorrow. And I just noticed that because I know it felt like I swear if I didn't know it better, I'd swear my eardrum ruptured earlier today. Anyway, it came to pass at that time that Judah departed from his brothers and visited a certain Adullamite whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there was a daughter of a certain Canaanite whose name was Shua. And he married her and went in to her. So she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name She conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she conceived yet again and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. He was at Chizab when she bore him. Then Judah took a wife for his firstborn, and her name was Tamar. But Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord killed him. Whoa! And Judah said to Onan, go into your brother's wife and marry her, and raise up an heir to your brother. But Onan knew that the heir would not be his, and it came to pass that when he went into his brother's wife, that he admitted on the ground, lest he should give an heir to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, therefore he killed him also. Oh, okay, I remember this. These both sons were God killed them because they refused to reproduce, basically. Ah, that's right. And this thing on my neck has me like super worried now, especially since they won't give me the results of my MRI with the contrast on my neck because there was like this area that they couldn't make out what the heck was there. They couldn't see what it was there. They couldn't see like the spine or anything because there was tissue or something there. So they had to do another one with contrast. And usually you get your report in a couple days. This place, and that was done on the 9th. That's like 10 days ago, and they still haven't given me my report. And so when I called them about it, she said, "Oh, when did you see your doctor again?" I said, "Not until the 29th." And she says, "Oh, well, yeah, I'll make a note for someone to get whatever together, and we'll get this over to your doctor so he can reach out to you. So now I'm really worried why they won't tell me. Usually they just send you a report, and then I just discovered the left side of my neck is all swelled up, and I didn't even know it. Man, Satan is such a freaking liar, man. Anyway, let me just go on with this. Start at verse 11. Then Judah said to Tamar, his brother in law, remain a widow in your father's house till my son Shelah is grown. For he said, lest he also die like his brothers. Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Now, in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted and went up to his sheep shearers at Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Edolamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, look, your father-in-law is going up to Timnah to shear his sheep. So she took off her widow's garments, covered herself with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which was on the way to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given to him as a wife. When Judah saw her, he thought she was a harlot, because she had covered her face. Then he turned to her by the way and said, please let me come in to you, for he did not know that she was his daughter-in-law. So she said, what will you give me that you may come in to me? And he said, I will send a young goat from the flock. So she said, will you give me a pledge till you send it? Then he said, what pledge shall I give you? So she said, your signet and cord, and your staff that is in your hand. Then he gave them to her and went in to her, and she conceived by him. So she arose and went away and laid aside her veil and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the young goat by the hand of his friend the Adullamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he did not find her. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot who was openly by the roadside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. So he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. Also the men of the place said, there was no harlot in this place. Then Judah said, let her take them for herself, lest we be shamed. For I sent this young goat, and you have not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after that Judah was told, saying, Tamar, your daughter-in-law, has played the harlot. Furthermore, she is with child by harlotry. So Judah said, bring her out and let her be burned. When she was brought out, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man to whom these belong, I am with child. And she said, please determine whose these are, the signet and cord and staff. So Judah acknowledged them and said, she has been more righteous than I, because I did not give her to Shelah, my son. And he never knew her again. Well, I would hope not. Now it came to pass at the time for giving birth that, behold, twins were in her womb. And so it was when she was giving birth that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took a scarlet thread and bound it on his hand, saying, this one came out first. Then it happened as he drew back his hand that his brother came out unexpectedly, and she said, how did you break through? This breach be upon you. Therefore his name was called Perez. Afterward his brother came out who had the scarlet thread on his hand, and his name was called Zerah. That's cute. Okay, so that concludes. Oh no, what am I saying? No, that concludes that part of the reading. Let me bring up Matthew 10, verses 21 through 42. Oh, it's over here. Over here. Okay, just picking up on verse 21 through 25. Brother will deliver brother over to death, and the father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. I do not like this version of what he's reading. You will be hated by all for my name's sake. But you know what? I don't like this. This reminds me of NIV or ESV. I do not like those versions at all. Now, I don't trust them because they leave words out. They have like the NIV and the ESV have actually deleted over 65,000 words from the Bible. So, just to be on the safe side, let me just read these verses from my Bible. Unless you've got it on the screen, right? So, let's just see the difference. And see, I mean, it may match exactly what mine says. We shall see. Matthew 10. Okay, 21. Yeah. And to the brother shall deliver up. That's different. The brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. Close enough. And you shall be hated for all you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Yeah. But he who endures to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, okay, it's all right. Flee into another. For verily I say unto you, you shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. And that's basically boldly announcing the second coming right there. Uh, verse 24, and it talks about instruction. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is not enough for the disciple that he be as his master and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more will they malign those or call them of his household? So they call them of his household. Okay, so it's close enough. All right. So make sure I didn't click too many times. Yeah, okay. This is right. So this is Luke Taylor talking. He can personally attest to the accuracy of Jesus' words in verse 21. There are few things that divide a family as quickly as religious disagreement. Boy, I can attest to that too. I have family members wanting to speak to me because of certain things that the Bible says that I stand firm on because I don't just follow parts of the Bible. I follow the whole Word of God. End of story. Anyway, whoa, that was the key to the back door. It just flew. All right, cool. Anyways, perhaps one member of a family is convicted to follow Christ. The unconverted part of the family is often critical or accuses the converted of arrogance when they try to share good news of Jesus with them. We raised you and you grew up as equals with your siblings, and now you want to come back and judge our lives and tell us we aren't right with God? Yeah, well, it's not quite that bad as mine, but as we read through the Gospels, we will discover Jesus, our own family, didn't believe in him. As we read through the Gospels, we will discover Jesus' own family didn't believe in him. Do you remember that one part when they told Jesus, Teacher, your mother and your brothers are outside wanting to speak to you, right? And he says, Who are my mother and my brothers? But those who do the will of the Father, right? They were there wanting to speak to him because they were wanting to tell him, hey, shh, stop saying these things that you're saying because we think you're crazy and you're going to get yourself killed. They were there to take him home so he'd shut up, basically. And that's why, and he knew this. That's why he's like, who are my mother and my brothers? But these, and he pointed to the people that were there listening to his words. Anyway, Uh, but yeah, they didn't believe him either. In fact, they did. Jude didn't believe him until after his death. I think after his resurrection. Yeah, his own half brother. Yeah, and James, his brother. Yeah. But anyways, where'd it go? Yeah, okay. So try to view this text through the eyes of a person who grew up in a devout Muslim family in the Middle East. Okay. A minuscule number of Westerners would face literal death by turning their back on their family members to follow Christ. Even Orthodox Jews that accept Jesus as their Messiah, their family will. I've heard stories, man. This one guy like became homeless. He's a Jewish guy. Became homeless and got strung out on drugs and everything. And then someone like delivered him, delivered him. Really, he started going to church and he found Jesus and Jesus delivered him from his addictions and he got clean He started serving God and serving Jesus, and his family found out that he was clean and sober and off the streets and now has a job, and but he's a Christian, and they would rather have him been homeless and strung out on heroin than to be a Christian. I mean, I've seen people have they would have mock funerals for their person, their family member that accepted Jesus as the Messiah. Word for serious. It's crazy. So yeah, same thing here. Only with Muslims, they just kill you. Period. End of story. Yeah, you're just dead. Yeah, no. It wouldn't be a mock funeral. It would be a real funeral because your butt would be dead. They'd kill you. Not think twice of it. Honor killings, yeah, but honor killings are not extinct among Muhammad's more radical Eastern followers. Consider also the context of this passage. Jesus was asking his apostles to leave behind a devotion to the law of Moses, a law which had been the guiding force of Israel for 1500 years. It was probably not easy for all of the apostles to explain what they were doing to all of their relatives. It wouldn't just be relatives turning their backs on the 12, they would be hated by all men. Jesus tells them that if they endure to the end, they will be saved. Persecution will be a constant companion. When they were rejected and persecuted in one town, they were to move on to the next one. Notice it doesn't say when they persecute you in one town, give up and go home. Hmm. The meaning of the end of verse 23 is the topic of much discussion and debate. What is meant by you will not have gone through all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes? Oh, that's exciting. Oh, missed the trash. The identity of the Son of Man is not the part which is debated. The Son of Man is Jesus. But what coming is he referencing? The second coming. The second time Jesus' feet actually touch the earth. Not the rapture. That's not the second coming because Jesus just comes in the clouds then when he actually touches the earth. The three predominant theories on the coming of the Son of Man refers to Judgment Day, refers to the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD, and refers to Jesus' resurrection and the establishing of the kingdom church. Theory 1 and 2 seem unlikely to him, especially in light of Paul's reference to the gospel bearing fruit in the whole world in Colossians 1:16. Although some would contend for theory 2 by countering that the preaching of the kingdom meant the full instruction of the kingdom to all of Israel, which hadn't happened by 70 AD. He's saying, I'm not in love with this interpretation, but I don't outright reject it. Okay, this is Luke Taylor talking, okay? Some of this stuff, this is just, I'm putting it out there. Everyone has their own theology on it. So it's just, I'm just putting it out there. This is just one reference, okay? Doesn't mean I believe or agree with everything he says or that I disagree with what he says. Theory 3 makes the most sense to me. I think it's likely Jesus is referring to the coming of the Son of Man in the same sense as Matthew 16:28. Yes, truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. Yes, that's it, Matthew. Yes. Okay, verses 24 and 25. The apostles should not be surprised about the way they will be treated. They had already seen Jesus be mistreated and had not yet seen the half of it. And I swear someone has like a fan on or something. It's freezing in here. Sorry. If Jesus was a perfect man and was still persecuted, the apostles should expect the same or worse treatment by carrying his message in an imperfect way. Verses 26 through 33. Sorry, I'm so just congested still. So have no fear of them, for nothing is covered that will not be revealed, or hidden that will not be known. What I tell you in the dark, say in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Amen. Are not two sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father? But even the hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. So everyone who acknowledges me before men, I also will acknowledge before my Father who is in heaven. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. So in verses 26 and 27, everything would be brought to light in the end. The evil enemies of Christ would be exposed. Their lies and slander would be revealed, and they would not go unpunished for their rebellion against God. They would be exposed as the true children of Beelzebub. The apostles would be vindicated as preachers of the truth. In light of the way things would turn out, the apostles were to boldly preach the things Jesus taught them in private or in public. There was no need to fear the opposition. They could have confidence that God would make everything right in the end. I could have sworn I turned this on heat. Lord have mercy. Man. Okay, verses 28 through 31. I am so cold. There was no reason to fear an enemy who could kill or injure them physically because God was prepared to take care of their souls on earth and in heaven. God is the only thing worth fearing. He has power to destroy the body and the soul. The term fear, when used in reference to God, has a richer meaning than being terrified of something. It means to respect God for his authority, both to save and destroy, and to keep him in his proper place of priority and reverence. If we fear God, we don't need to fear anything else. If we don't fear God, we should fear God and everything else. The good news is that this powerful God is on their side. Jesus, who had just given them a measure of God's power, told them about the God they served. He cared for the tiny birds. He knew every hair on their head. He meticulously cared for them and was aware of them. Verses 31 and 32. The apostles were about to leave Jesus' presence and go out into a hostile world. In that hostile world, there would be a strong temptation to turn their back on Christ. Jesus has made them aware of the danger and the tactics of their enemies. He also made them aware of the God who protects them. He then plainly explains the two options in front of them. Acknowledge me before men, I will acknowledge you before God. Deny me before men, I will deny you before God. You've probably seen a movie where one friend denies they know the other friend because they are in some way embarrassed by them, even though the friend they are embarrassed by has always been faithful to them. If we deny Christ, we deny the most faithful friend. If we don't want to look at Jesus on Judgment Day and tell him we were embarrassed by him. The world has done a good job at making us feel embarrassed about spiritual things. But often that is what we communicate with our lives. Shoot. Yeah, you have not met me, Luke Taylor, or seen my truck. Just saying. Anyone that knows Debbie Shaw, they know that there's no question that Debbie's a believer. Anyway, verses 34 through 39. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Now notice how in this scripture it says loves more than me. Now my Bible says hates. Whoever actually no, let me say, take that back. But there is a part in the Bible where he talks about unless you hate, right? And it doesn't mean like hate with malice. It means think less of. Like you have to love God over everyone else. That's basically what he's saying. So, whoever loves father and mother more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And whoever does not take his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it. And whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. That right there, those three verses right there are so very important. And so many people just don't get that part of the gospel ever at all. So I'm sorry, move my mic. I'm not thinking. What about verses like, okay, I thought Jesus came to make peace. Not. That's what they were thinking. That's what they thought the Messiah was going to do, was come and make all the bad guys go away and quit oppressing them. Mm-mm. No. He had to fix the house of God first. Here they were selling pigeons and goats and stuff in God's house. Just saying. What about verses like Philippians 4:7? And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. It's true, Jesus came to make peace between God and man, but in another sense, he brought a very divisive message. Jesus is warning his apostles about the potential hardships of being his followers. The gospel message has divided thousands of families since it was first preached in Galilee. Many people have had to make the decision to save their souls at the expense of their family. If the apostles were not prepared to make the sacrifice, they were not worthy of Jesus. I feel like it's important to notice that loving your family is not a sin, but surrendering your commitment and conviction to Christ in order to have more of your family is a sin. Not all of the decisions we make in life are black and white between good and evil. Some of them are a decision between what is good and what is better. Um, okay. Surrendering your family to Christ may be one of the hardest sacrifices anyone can make. Oh, yay. Being around family is a high priority for most people. Sorry, lips are chat and hurting. Some people live in the same location their whole lives, not because they love it. Oh, goodness. But because moving would require living away from family. People turn down career promotions, family location sometimes determines where we attend school, etc. When I moved away from home to pursue mission work with my wife, it wasn't the fear of a new location that made me hesitant. It wasn't the danger of not having the best health care in the world. It wasn't the fear. That's cool. I didn't know he did that. That's awesome. Dang it, I just dropped my chapstick. Ah. It wasn't the fear of change. The thing that tempted me the most to stay was family. I didn't want to leave my family, both immediate family and church family. It means missing the birth of my first nephew, family traditions and holidays, quality time. Luckily for me, I have video chat and Facebook Messenger, and my family is supportive of me. But for many, following Christ means being cut off from family completely. Rejection, no updates, no pictures, no holidays. You can see why someone would want to go back. My two of my children, I rarely, well, my daughter just doesn't even speak to me at all. So, I get to see pictures of my grandchildren once in a while on Facebook. My youngest son, I see him once a month, and he sometimes brings my granddaughter who doesn't know me. So, yeah, feel you, brother. And we all live here in Oklahoma City. My daughter literally lives over off of 19th and Drexel, just a stone. I could walk to her house from here. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Just lift it. All you can do is leave it to God's hands. Just pray for them. They were raised in the church. They know the truth. Just pray that they turn back to it before it's too late. You can see why someone would want to go back. You can see how that would be a temptation to set Christ aside, to be a bit less committed, to be bit less convicted so they can have their family back. No, see, no, actually, no. But I'm old too, see. But I also know the truth because I've studied the Word enough to know that, nah, I've got to, I know what's important, and I don't want to lose my life to gain it. I mean, I don't want to gain my life to lose it. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to lose my life to gain it. I'm willing to take up my cross every day. And God knows I have to because I'm constantly falling. And I need Jesus. I need him every moment of every day. Because he is the only hope and the only thing that brings joy in my life. And I know one day I won't hurt physically or emotionally and will be in glory with the Father. And so that is what keeps me going. And I just pray that my kids follow. My oldest son, he lives in this house and he rarely comes to church with us, but I still he's closer than the other two, but he's still so far from. But all I can do is just leave it up to God. That's all we can do, right, with our adult children. But anyway, at the top, that sacrifice is the cross Jesus describes in verse 38. Let me close this door because that crazy crackhead senior cat, he'll want to go and get a drink of water, so he'll walk to the bowl and he'll start yelling at the bowl, and then he'll get his drink. And then he'll go back to the couch where he's going to jump up there and lay down. He'll jump up and lay down, but before he lays down, he'll yell at the chair, that he's going to lay on. I don't know if he's in pain or if he's just, I don't know. He's old. I know he's probably at EOL, but dang, he's about to drive us up the wall. And I know there's going to be a time when we're going to be sad and we're going to be like, oh, I just miss hearing that now. But right now, we're not there because he's driving us crazy. All that because he's deaf. I think he's completely lost his hearing for real. Because if I can vacuum right beside him with the shop vac and he doesn't hear it or get scared because he doesn't hear it, pretty sure he's deaf. So he doesn't know how loud he's yelling. I mean, he gets loud. Anyway, hold on. Sorry, trying to breathe here. So that sacrifice is the cross Jesus describes in verse 38. Jesus would sacrifice himself on the cross for all men, but each individual follower would be required to make sacrifices. There's no question we're saved by the grace of God. That is why Jesus is on the earth. Amen. But notice here there are sacrifices we must be willing to make or be found guilty. I'm sorry, or be found not worthy of Christ. Well, okay, same. It's easy for us to look at this statement and to understand exactly what Jesus is saying because we're on the far side of the cross. But imagine how shocking these words would have been to the apostles who had yet to fully understand the sacrifices that Jesus was going to make. Whoever finds his life will lose it. This can be a bit of a confusing, in my opinion. I think you forgot to finish that sentence. Yeah. When Jesus talks about finding life, I understand him to be talking about where a person's heart belongs. In Matthew 6:21, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. A person's life is what they live for and value. Jesus was just talking about family. It's not uncommon to hear someone say, my family is my life. They mean their family is their highest affection. Their family is their reason for living. So Jesus is saying, if we find out highest affection to be something in this world, family, money, marriage, friends, etc., we will lose our lives. Meaning, when this world passes away, so will our highest affection, and we will have nothing left. Not to mention our souls will be in danger because we did not acknowledge Christ as our greatest affection. Therefore, he will not acknowledge us. But if we find our highest affection in Jesus, our heart will not belong to a temporal world corrupted by moth and rust. Chapter 6, verse 20. And when all of this passes away, we will inherit new life, true, real, and lasting life. When Christ acknowledges us before the Father. Matthew 10, verses 40 through 42. Whoever receives you receives me, and whoever receives me receives him who sent me. The one who receives a prophet because he is a prophet will receive a prophet's reward. And the one who receives a righteous person because he is a righteous person will receive a righteous person's reward. And whoever gives one of these little ones even a cup of cold water because he is a disciple, truly I say to you, he will by no means lose his reward. Verses 40 through 42. The middle portion of this chapter was dedicated to those who would reject Jesus and his apostles. The last three verses are. Did we read those? Hold on. Wow. Yeah, totally just read them. I'll be all right. The middle portion of this chapter was dedicated to those who would reject Jesus and his apostles. The last three verses are dedicated to those who are worthy and accept Jesus and his apostles. Those who honor God's messengers honor God himself. Similar, the verses surrounding Matthew 25:40. Those who honor God's messengers take part in the good works of the messenger and will be rewarded. Those who give even something as small as a cup of water to a disciple will be counted worthy of reward. Notice the progression: prophet, righteous person, little one, disciple. We can't all participate in every work of the church. Sometimes we only have a small amount of time or resources to devote to a larger work. We can't all be caregivers, missionaries, burden bearers, ministry leaders, etc. But we can give our resources, time, and love to the people who fill those roles. We will be counted worthy of their reward for helping them and sending them on their way, well cared for. Paul affirms this truth to the Christians at Philippi. The Philippians had sent them gifts to further his mission, and he tells them that he uses those gifts to bear fruit to their credit. Philippians 4:7. Not that I seek the gift, but I seek the fruit that increases to your credit. Oh, okay. And then that's all of that. And and if you go to be like Christ, and I put the link in the description, you can always go to the resources, and that's where he does the full Bible study. You have 5 minute, and then you have Bible resource. I don't remember what it's called. I'm tired, but if you go there, and you can, he has all these different links, but you can check out his website if you want to get stuff from there. But here's some stuffs here. You can see I didn't put it in the description though, because I already have like a ton of stuff there. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the footnotes in there. I've been putting the footnotes in there lately. Oh no. Oh, please still be copied so I can paste it. Oh, please. Oh, bummer. I'm so stupid. Okay, so we won't have the. I'm not going through all that again. That really sucks. Okay, well, I did have the footnotes for this reading to put in here, and I forgot to paste them before I copied this stupid page and put it in here, so it's okay. I had got the footnotes from BibleGateway.com for the reading for the verses that I read today, Genesis 35 through 38 and Matthew 10:21 through 42. So if you need them, that's where you can get them. But I do have them for the rest of the readings. I've already got it set up for 16 because what I did, close 10 because we're through 10. I don't need to keep this by my mouse. As you can see, I've already set it up for the next reading, the 16th and the 17th. I haven't done 18th yet because it was getting late, but I have them ready to go. And I'll probably do them tomorrow because it's 1 o'clock now, and my voice is already starting to get uh, gone, so I better stop reading now. So, anyways, that's all for now. So, shalom for now. Know that I love you and Jesus loves you, and I hope you have a blessed day today.